Welcome to Bria Brown Live. I'm your host, Bria Brown. Today I have an exclusive interview with journalist, life coach, and change agent, Dawn Jamison. Hi, John.
Thank you.
How are you?
Oh, I'm very glad to be here.
Thank you for coming to speak to me today.
Wonderful.
You have 2 books that are going to be coming out.
Crazy. Yes. Yeah. In less than a month.
In less than a month.
Yes.
So let's talk about those 2. The first is The 8 Mistakes Women Make.
Right.
So I thought to myself, there's probably more than 8, but you just classify.
You know, it's interesting. Only men say there's way more than 8.
Really?
Women don't usually say that. Nope.
Really?
Nope. Almost consistently. You
Okay.
only chose 8. That's usually what men say.
Okay, well, for me, I know that I make mistakes all the time. And I know
Same,
that
as
people
do I.
are like, you shouldn't make mistakes, you shouldn't do this. But I think that if you do make mistakes, you're kind of failing forward.
Mm-hmm. I like that.
Yeah, I
like
think you're
that.
failing
That would've
forward,
been
and
good.
I don't think that you're being stagnant. So,
Yeah, I mean, my sense was, when I work with clients, and then for 20 years I've interviewed people. When I interview women, I tend to find consistencies. They're burnout, they wish they did X, they wish they didn't do Y. And so I took a mental note, and at some point I thought I need to capture this and share it with other people so that maybe they can correct their path going forward. And also, I mean, all of us kind of go through this quarter life crisis. So I'm like, oh man, shouldn't have done that.
no, that's true.
Yeah.
Well, I was able to read the first 2 chapters of the book, and they were amazing.
Thank you.
And what you guys will soon find out is that at the end of each chapter, she has you write out answers to questions that she's asked based on that chapter. So I thought that, first of all, it wrecked me. The first one, I was I'm like, oh gosh, no, I am this. I really am. But it made me examine myself, and it made me, it made me examine myself, and it made me look at myself and say, okay, yes, you're doing this, but these are the tools to help you. Because a lot of times people that I've seen in the media, what they do is they'll tell you that you're making the mistakes, and they'll tell you what you're doing wrong, but they won't give you a solution.
No
path
forward.
Right, and in this book, you give us a solution. So how did you come up with, first of all, like I was asking, how did you come up with these 8 specifically? And then how did you go about making those solutions for us?
I appreciate the question. So I probably started out with around 10 and thought 10 wasn't really interesting.
Okay.
So I had to do some carving. The number one question, or the number one problem, is comparing ourselves to other women. I do it, you do it.
I do.
Our moms do it, everyone. And so it was important to me that be number one, and everything else kind of fell after that. But they were all purposeful.
Right.
And I think that my sense is we don't really know when we're holding ourselves back. So I call it in the book anchoring. We're anchoring ourselves. And we don't really know that we are. We just kind of live. We go along, we forget things that we don't want to really focus on, but we usually don't circle back to address them.
Right.
And so I felt like if I ask pointed questions, right, powerful questions, then we can be more conscious. And I think in our age of social media, of consuming information everywhere all the time, we don't really get deep.
At all. At all.
And you and I know that we know people that are just surface people.
Yeah.
They're surface feeders, you know? And so I think we have to go a little deeper to do some reflection, some analysis. Why is this? Why do we do whatever? And so I felt like the 8 Mistakes Women Make is an opportunity to do that.
Okay, so pretty much it's a conversation. It's to get the conversation started.
Right. And also I should say that the 8 Mistakes will be a series.
Okay.
It's a series. And so once I get past my other book that you know is about the Me Too movement, I will circle back to the 8 Mistakes series. Okay. So for instance, I want to do the 8 Mistakes Men Make and co-author with someone.
That's good.
Someone, I don't know who, but I would love to, because I have my 2 cents from a life coach perspective, but I certainly can't write that by myself without a male brain.
Right.
But also I plan to do the 8 mistakes that new mothers make, because Lord knows when I became a mom, oh my goodness, you just feel like you're failing all the time. So,
well, I don't know, but I don't know at all.
You might feel
I
that.
might later
Hopefully you
on
skip
in life.
that. Right. Exactly.
So with these 8 mistakes, which one do you think speaks to you the most? If you had to choose one, what would it be?
Great question. Probably the perfection piece.
Okay.
We strive to be perfect instead of our perfect self, our best version of ourselves, the best version of ourselves. And I just think in my family, I'm the oldest of 3 girls. I'm the oldest cousin. I'm the first to go to college, first to, do all these things.
Right.
So I had a lot of eyes on me. So with that, you're trying to do everything with perfection,
right,
which never works out.
Ever. At all.
So I think that one resonates with me. I remember like 20 years ago in college or something, one of my friends said, "Why are you wearing makeup to go grocery shopping?" And that, I just felt like, let me put my face on. I need to be fabulous all the time, which you don't.
You don't.
So, but
you're fabulous without the makeup
Thank
on.
you.
But that is what society has
teaches
now,
us.
right, it's now what they teach us, that you have to be perfect, you have to
All the
be,
time.
your eyebrows always have to be correct, you have to have this, you have to have that.
The brand names.
Right, all of that. Yeah. See? All of that, like
All
you
of that.
have to have all of that.
You do.
And I think that it's turning all women into robots, honestly. And we all look the same. Like no one is unique anymore.
Or
And
we're just fake.
Right, that too.
We're looking at fake examples and we're trying to be like that. So for example, I was thinking about the rapper T.I. and how his wife, she got implants, she got her butt done, all this thing. And then she has all these followers that were like, oh my gosh, she looks amazing. Well, if she's not authentic,
right,
then what are we aiming for? We could also say that about a Kim Kardashian or
anyone.
her whole family,
right?
So just
now, what do you want the takeaway to be? And when I say takeaway, I mean for someone who is me, I'm 25. What do you want the takeaway to be for someone like myself? What do you want the takeaway to be for someone who's older than me? And if there's someone younger than me reading, what should be their takeaway? Or is it all the same?
No, that's really great. Because I think that, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like because of the subject matter, there's something in there for everyone. And I think if you're younger, so across the board, I would hope that every woman reading the book is more conscious about their thought process, about how they're going about their day, about the major decisions in their life, right? And then if you're younger, I hope that you are really taking those in and using it as a bit of a compass. And if you're older and a little more seasoned, I hope that you consider it, but also share it, with younger folks, because a lot of people just don't know a better way and a more conscious way to be. And I don't think we live in a society where people are encouraging us to think deeper about stuff. I just don't think we are. So,
now, to piggyback off of you saying thinking deeper, I know earlier you were saying that we should soul search. What does that look like? So
I think it is unique to everyone. I think it depends on your passion. It hinges on whatever your passion is. So if it's being a journalist, okay, what does that look like? And how can I be successful? And when am I going to get started on that path to push toward my passion and be successful? I think there are so many things that are stumbling blocks and so many things that keep us, and people who keep us from the track we're supposed to be on. So it's different. It can be different depending on who it is.
Now I want to kind of transition into the second book that's going to be coming out.
Yes.
Can you talk a little bit about that?
Sure. So my second book is called Reckoning Day, #MeToo Stories That Inspire You. And this book was quite an accident. I was laser focused on the 8 Mistakes Women Make. Sad to say, I was writing it for 3 years, over 3 years, in fact.
That's not sad. That means you took time.
Lots.
That means
lots,
you
too
took
much.
time.
Too much. And so I was writing that book, and it's a funny story because I was cheering like you, like the rest of America, watching all these stories about, Bill Cosby and Matt Lauer and all these. Every day a different shoe would drop, right?
It was.
It almost seemed like literally every day.
Literally, you were wondering who was going to be next.
Who was going to be next, and how many women per man, right? And one day, the light bulb finally went on, and I stopped watching it as a spectator, and I said, hey, I'm a journalist. I actually can write. I can actually participate in this dialogue. I can help continue this important conversation about abuse, about inequality of women. And so it was really a decision to be part of the conversation. So at that moment, I started verbalizing that, hey, I want to write something. I want to do something in this space. And I kid you not, every woman I would talk to had a story.
Wow.
Every woman has a story about abuse. I don't care if it's harassment at work, whatnot. Their childhood, like a dark childhood, like everyone has a story. And so women started offering their stories to me. And I started listening and writing. And one woman would call me and say, my friend Monica needs to be part of this book project. Can you talk to her? So it evolved into 20 plus women, and men actually. And it was also important for me to include men because we can't forget that men are survivors too.
And I think in Hollywood, there has only been one man that came out.
Terry Crews.
Yes.
Terry
so
Crews,
that I like that you took that different aspect to include them as well. Because a lot of times society only says, no, this only happens to women, when it doesn't.
Fair.
It also happens
Not
to men
fair.
as well.
Not fair. And in the book, I dug deep and got statistics for everything. So current updated statistics, because it's funny. I mean, I just really think that a lot of people don't believe it's a problem. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
But I think they do. And I think they don't think it's a problem with men. And it is.
It is, yeah.
So, yeah. So it was important to include that.
Wow.
Yeah.
So these 2 books are coming out.
Oh, my goodness.
How do you feel?
Oh, crazy. Because
Why?
I don't, I mean, who does a dual book launch? I don't really know. And,
You do.
Well, me, but, it was like one was super slow, one was really fast. I probably wrote Reckoning Day maybe in 5 to 6 months.
Wow.
But like I said, 8 Mistakes was super slow. So, but, it was important for me to hurry the process along with Reckoning Day because I think that it's still a conversation, and
well, it's still a conversation, but it's not on major networks anymore. So it's still
regular
happening.
Folks now,
right.
Yeah. And that's why it was important for me to include regular folks. And there are kind of like a couple people with, that are kind of in the celebrity-esque realm or associated with famous people. But it was just really important to have stories that connect with other people, regular folks like myself and like you.
Yes.
And I think that when I think about it, I really feel like each story represents thousands, if not millions, more stories just like it.
Yeah.
And my prayer is that when people read it, they'll say, oh my gosh, that happened to me, or that happened to my cousin.
Give them the courage.
Right. And then, there were really 2 objectives for Reckoning Day. And one was to continue the dialogue, right? That's really important and way overdue, but also encourage other women to have strength to speak up.
Yeah,
those 2.
That's really good. Now that you've written both of these books that I think are going to be #1 on Amazon, make sure you guys do all that. How has this changed you as a journalist? How has this changed you as a life coach? And lastly, a change agent?
Yes, thank you. Really great question. I have been a journalist for 20 years and never thought about writing a book. It's really crazy how you write in your little lane, in your little space, and you don't really see it as transferable to other arenas, you know? So I feel like it's almost like, you know, Mario Brothers, when he would like eat the mushroom or something and he would be like, dun, 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 and he would grow bigger. And so in my spirit, I think that I feel a little bit like, hey, I can do it. You know, hey, I can successfully pursue my author career. And I can't tell you, the feedback I've gotten and the love that people have shown for Reckoning Day and for 8 Mistakes has been tremendous and surprising, because, you know, I just wrote my truth. I just wrote what I felt needed to be said.
Right.
And for it to be received is like a whole nother wonderful thing. So I think it's been empowering for me. And yeah, it's really made me take a right turn from marketing and communications and corporate blogging, which is the space I was in before this. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, I am extremely proud of you.
Thank you so
I
much.
first met Dawn, what was it, maybe like 2 years ago? 2 years ago, but this is our actual first meeting together.
We just have a
phone
relationship.
Yeah, we just have a phone relationship. So,
I call you and
we talk over email.
If you help me do stuff.
Yeah. But as you can see, we have formed a great relationship, and I am honored that you wanted to come on my show and talk about your 2 books that are going to be coming out. Where can people keep up to date with you and everything?
It's very simple. My name, DawnJamison.com, JAMISON.com, but I have Facebook fan pages. My books are available on Amazon. And the books are out May 12th.
Awesome.
So, yeah.
Thank you again for coming on.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Thank you for tuning in to Bria Brown Live. Be sure to stay updated with everything by visiting BriaBrownLive.com.